Observation and effective feedback are really important with your mentee. You're going to be having an opportunity to take a day to go into your mentee's classroom. You'll be filling out a form to have a sub go into your classroom so that you can spend a good day with your mentee. You also may want to encourage your mentee to videotape themselves so that you can work in collaboration in that mentoring capacity to kind of analyze that classroom, so that it's just not narrative, so you're not just depending on that person telling you what's occurring in the classroom. And in those instances that you have opportunity to observe that teacher, you're going to go into observation and effective feedback mode. When you're doing this, you want to be specific about your information rather than generalizations. You want it to be accurate. It should be factual and clear. Just stick to what you see, as if you're a reporter. Be timely, as soon as you go in, when you go in to observe, you want to try to limit waiting till a week or a few days after. Call up that person or meet that person after school or maybe during their planning, so that you can really work on establishing your relationship, but also helping that mentee to really problem solve and really see new ways of strategizing in their classroom. And usable, you want to relate the feedback to the goals and strategies so that the mentee can improve their performance. You also may want to use the Danielson framework, which will include in this module looking at those components, reviewing those components with that mentee so that they kind of know what the criteria is. Again, your role is not evaluative. It's literally mentoring that person, helping them make sound decisions that are going to influence student performance and new teacher capacity. Mentor and new teacher confidentiality. This is a huge key component. Confidentiality is a critical component of a successful mentor-mentee relationship. That confidentiality that you have with this individual helps build trust between you and the mentee. It's going to allow for open discussions. It's going to help toward progressing the mentee to achieve success. And you're going to be able to communicate with each other freely without fear. Now, your principal may come to you and say, hey, how's that mentee doing? Tell me more about what's happening in the classroom. And because you have this confidentiality and this mentor-mentee relationship, you may just go, we're working on some things. This person is developing their craft. Now, if there are safety issues and issues of deep concern, again, safety issues, of course, you're going to go and talk to your principal and alert them. If you have any other issues, please reach out to Charlotte Ivy, Cheryl Bibby, Sarah Reed, Tara Isaacs, or Jennifer Colley. But again, that confidentiality component is really critical. Sometimes, my principal will ask me, hey, how's this person doing? And I'm like, we're working on the work. They're developing, they're growing. I will often say, we need support. Sometimes I'll ask for support, like the MTSS folks with the district. Do you think we could contact them to come into the classroom to support us? Or oftentimes as classroom management, issues going on. So I'll solicit other individuals from the district to come in and kind of support us as resource opportunities. But again, that confidentiality component is really critical. Again, you are not an evaluator, you're a mentor. This is a leadership practice continuum. It just kind of goes over supervising zone versus mentoring zone. And if you're a mentor, you're offering options, you're creating that relationship, you're creating an awareness, you're designing actions, you're planning and setting goals, you're monitoring progress, you're communicating regularly and effectively. And the big key component is you're celebrating success. Help that mentee to see the positives that are happening, the actions that they're doing. Because, when we're in that classroom, in that silo, and new teachers are, encumbered by all the things that are occurring at once, they may not see the positive. When you say, how do you think it went? They may be prone to looking through the lens of a deficit lens, and your role as a mentor is going, I kind of know some really good things. These students were working and this, and you dealt with this student on the side. But what I also noticed was this: have you considered this? That's the mentoring capacity, building support and positive actions in that classroom. Later on during the year, we will have a module that goes into coaching, those critical conversations that you have, coaching, guiding questions that kind of lead your student, not your student teacher, but your mentee, to continually reflect, to go into deeper reflection about their actions, problems in the classroom, and how to solve them. This is the teacher emotional roller coaster. Dr. Munoz, he shared this at a PD, and we thought this was so appropriate. In the beginning stages, our teachers are so excited. They're bringing in family members, they're taking pictures, they're making that classroom as cute as can be. They're on cloud 10, but a good week into the daily grind of teaching, a lot of our teachers are in survival mode. And then when we get near October, November, they're disillusioned. We lose a lot of teachers at that moment. But if you can go into reflection with them and mentor them through, like, this is a normal cycle. Every teacher goes through this. These are problems. They can be solved. We're going to solicit resources in our district to help us. We're going to reach out with our new teacher mentoring individuals, Tara, Jennifer, Sarah, Cheryl, and Charlotte, and we're going to, envelope you with support. Our teachers can kind of move through that cycle of survival and disillusionment, and really kind of reflect and kind of stay with it. This is another way of looking in that. The Wongs assert that all teachers pass through the survival stage, but ideally we pass through it as quickly as possible in order to get to the mastery stage. The stage where we actively learn, grow, blossom as teachers. And the JCPS New Teacher Program is here to help teachers move past the survival stage to mastery and impact. Impact is really, impact is the stage where students come back to you and they say, you've impacted me. Impact is really, that stage where we get to after a number of years into teaching. But even in a number of years of teaching, you can switch jobs, and that's, this is really helpful to share with mentees, is you can switch jobs and kind of be in a fantasy mode or survival mode, working towards that mastery. That's why teaching is considered a craft. It's a developing craft. It changes when you change as well, in all the different opportunities that JCPS has, different grade levels, different schools, different cultures, different positions. But again, helping that mentee understand the stages and helping that mentee cope and develop as a professional is the key.